Bellacide 355, 301, Get Clean and Keep Clean Biocide presentation. For a full version of this presentation, please contact us at americas@wateradditives.com or www.wateradditives.com. There are three elements to a successful biocide program: performance, safety, and cost. A biocide must work, it must work safely, and it must work cost-effectively. Both Bellacide 355 and 301 meet these three needs. Bellacide 355 is considered a Get Clean biocide, and Bellacide 301 is considered a Keep Clean biocide. So what we mean by Get Clean is Bellacide 355 should be used in systems that are heavily fouled with algae, biomass, or other deposits. The maintenance dosage of Bellacide 355 is roughly 200 ppm once or twice a week, and Bellacide 355 should also be used in closed loops. Bellacide 301 should be used as a Keep Clean biocide. What we mean by Keep Clean is Bellacide 301 should be used in systems that are not prone to heavy biofouling, are relatively clean, relatively stable. Bellacide 301 should only be used in systems containing an oxidizer. Once the system is clean, the typical treatment dosage of Bellacide 301 is 50 ppm once per week in combination with an oxidizer. This chart shows some various performance attributes of the Bellacide 301 and Bellacide 355 products compared to other industry standard biocides. As you can see from the chart, both the 301 and the 355 are truly broad spectrum. And what we mean by broad spectrum is, they do a good job of controlling the various types of bacteria, including sulfate reducers, and they also do a good job at biofilm removal, killing algae, fungi, and mollusks. In addition to these properties, both Bellacide 301 and 355 are very robust chemistries. The mechanism of kill is not a chemical one, and this is very important. And the reason that's very important is without having a chemical kill, it allows the 301 and the 355 to avoid being deactivated by typical contaminants, such as chloride, sulfate, iron, other types of contaminants. In addition to not performing in a chemical kill, both the 301 and the 355 operate very well at an alkaline pH, as well as an increasing pH. And this leads us to recommending the Bellacide 355 for use in closed loops at elevated pH. This chart shows the skin sensitization potential of of Bellacide 355, Bellacide 301, glutaraldehyde, and isothiazolone. And you can see the isothiazolone is spiked very high over to the right, and the Bellacide 355 is very low over to the left. And we feel that this is why we represent the Bellacide 355 and 301 as relatively safer compared to glutaraldehyde and isothiazolone, especially as it relates to skin sensitivity. This chart shows some bacteria performance testing. You can see the control over on the left, up near 10 to the 6th. And then you can see, the increase in performance from adding a half a ppm of bromicide. Bromicide is BWA's bromine-based hydantoin product. You would see this same effect with bleach, stabilized liquid bromine, chlorine dioxide, or any other oxidizer. And there's a couple things that really jump off of this chart. Number one is you see the interaction between the bromicide and the glute and the bromicide and the isothiazolone. So bars number 3 and 4. And this is very important. Glute and isothiazolone become deactivated in the presence of an oxidizer. And in most systems, an oxidizer is used as the main biocide program. The second bullet point, or the second point of this slide, is really showing the opposite effect of the 355 and the Bellacide 301. So you can see, bars 5 and 6 over towards the right. there's a definite synergy between Bellacide 355 and Bellacide 301 and this oxidizer. And the third is you can also see the dosage reduced of the oxidizer. So you can see there's a half a part free residual of the bromicide, and then that gets reduced to 0.2 ppm of free residual of the bromicide, and you still get a complete kill compared to not a complete kill or no effect from the previous 4 bars. The third is the relative decrease in dosage moving from the Bellacide 355 to the Bellacide 301. And this is minor but important. So you can see the Bellacide 355 dosage requires 1.25 ppm active in the presence of an oxidizer to achieve a complete kill. And the Bellacide 301 requires 0.5 ppm as active in combination with the oxidizer for a complete kill. And this is what leads us to make the recommendation that Bellacide 301 should only be used in the presence of an oxidizer. It has a higher level of synergy than even the Bellacide 355, which makes it very cost effective. Here we have a case history. We had a service company that was treating an air washer in a large textile plant. They were using glutaraldehyde twice a week at 50 ppm. There was visual biofilm. They were applying bleach very frequently, in fact overfeeding the bleach, to the point where the plant personnel were complaining about a very, very strong bleach odor. In addition to the odor, there was significant bioaccumulation, significant deposits present on the heat exchangers and various pieces of the system. So this customer switched the glutaraldehyde over to the Bellacide 355. They fed it one time at a cleanup dosage, and then they moved to the Bellacide 301 and fed it at 50 ppm once per week and significantly reduced their bleach feed. And in the end, the biofilm was completely removed, the bacteria counts were reduced, the odor was eliminated due to the bleach overfeed, there was no foaming throughout this whole process, and this customer saw cost savings of roughly 50%. In this next slide, we have a few pictures. So on the left is the before picture with the system treated with bleach and glutaraldehyde, and on the right is the after system treated again with one dose of 355 and then subsequent weekly dosages of 301. And you can obviously see that the biofilm, is not present. The system was relatively cleaned up and continues to operate very cleanly. But an important thing to note here is this system was never taken offline. So this cleaning was performed online with no foaming and virtually no impact to the customer and their operation. This next success story is kind of the opposite. So this customer did not have any significant performance issues relative to biocides. However, they had cost issues. So the end user was very conscious of cost, and the service company needed a way to address those concerns. So they looked to BWA, and we recommended Bellacide 301. To replace isothiazolone as the non-oxidizer component of their treatment program. They switched the non-oxidizer from isothiazolone over to Bellacide 301. The isothiazolone was fed twice a week. The Bellacide 301 was then fed once a week, again at 50 ppm. And the daily bromine feed was maintained as 4-hour batch intervals to maintain a 0.5 ppm free residual. And in the end, the performance actually improved. So the water clarity improved slightly. The bacteria counts came down from averaging 10 to the 4th to now averaging 10 to the 1. But most importantly, this customer experienced a 40% cost savings. So again, if you would like to see the full version of this presentation with much more technical details and many more case histories, please email us at americas@wateradditives.com or check us out online at www.wateradditives.com. Thank you.